On January 29th, 2022, Ryan David Staggs, a 31-year-old businessman known for his friendly and outgoing personality, widely recognized as the owner of the popular car dealership Happy Motors in Newport, Oregon, suddenly vanished under extremely mysterious and unexplained circumstances. According to information gathered from people close to Ryan, he was last seen that evening at his own home located on Northwest 55th Street, where he typically relaxed and rested after busy workdays. Notably, there were no signs indicating anything unusual about Ryan's behavior on the day of his disappearance. In fact, coworkers at Happy Motors distinctly remember Ryan being cheerful and enthusiastic earlier that day as they discussed future business development plans together. Based on accounts from reliable local news sources such as Yachet's News and KGW, several neighbors living near Ryan's residence reported hearing strange noises that fateful night, including shouting and loud arguments. However, these sounds quickly subsided, and at the time, no one realized that these noises might be related to Ryan's mysterious disappearance. It wasn't until the next day, when Ryan's family members were unable to contact him by any means and noticed his unusual absence from Happy Motors, that their initial worries escalated into alarm, prompting immediate action to search for Ryan. Within just a few short days following Ryan's disappearance, news of the incident rapidly spread across social media platforms. The Newport community was deeply shaken and concerned, as this was not merely an ordinary missing person case, but one involving a prominent and widely respected individual within the community. Ryan Staggs was considered an exemplary role model among successful young entrepreneurs. Numerous local community groups on Facebook immediately began sharing detailed information and identification photos of Ryan, along with countless pleas urging community members to search and spread awareness. These urgent appeals quickly went viral, creating significant public pressure and prompting authorities to expedite their investigation efforts. Shortly after the missing person report was filed, the Newport Police Department swiftly launched a comprehensive investigation. Authorities initially proposed several possible scenarios, including the likelihood that Ryan might have voluntarily disappeared for personal reasons, such as emotional or financial difficulties. However, investigators also did not rule out more severe scenarios, including the possibility that Ryan might have become the victim of criminal activities, such as kidnapping, assault, or even homicide. In an effort to clarify the circumstances surrounding his disappearance, multiple large-scale, meticulous searches were conducted. Police thoroughly combed through areas surrounding Ryan's residence, including nearby streets, parks, and riverside locations. They also carefully collected and reviewed footage from security cameras installed around neighbors' homes and the Happy Motors dealership. Despite these exhaustive efforts, the initial investigation yielded no positive outcomes or substantial leads. Ryan's mysterious disappearance without a trace intensified community anxiety and fear, prompting Newport residents to increasingly speculate and question what may have happened. Many began to worry that Ryan had unwittingly become the victim of a hidden, sinister crime occurring quietly in Newport, a city long known for being peaceful, quiet, and exceptionally safe. In the first weeks following Ryan's sudden disappearance, his family worked closely and regularly with the Newport Police Department, hoping to provide any information that could aid the investigation. They eagerly shared meticulous details about Ryan's daily routine, a list of his close personal and social connections, and comprehensive information about the operations of his business, Happy Motors. His family remained hopeful that even the smallest, most seemingly insignificant details could lead to crucial clues that would help investigators locate him. Dedicated detectives conducted numerous in-depth interviews with a wide range of individuals, including Ryan's close friends, neighbors, employees at Happy Motors, and even some of his regular customers. The goal of these interviews was to uncover any unusual signs in Ryan's behavior, habits, or daily routine in the days leading up to his sudden disappearance. However, ironically, these extensive interviews only seemed to deepen the mystery. Almost everyone questioned consistently affirmed that Ryan had no known conflicts, disputes, or any signs of emotional or psychological distress in the period before January 29, 2022. Taking their efforts further, law enforcement expanded the search beyond Newport into neighboring towns and rural areas. At the same time, they devoted significant time and resources to carefully reviewing hundreds of hours of security footage from surveillance cameras positioned throughout Newport. Investigators placed particular emphasis on analyzing footage recorded during the time frame when Ryan was believed to have gone missing. Despite their exhaustive efforts, the results were deeply frustrating. There were no images or video clips capturing Ryan leaving his home or appearing at any other location outside his residence. Adding to the mystery, Ryan's personal cell phone suddenly stopped functioning entirely on the exact day he disappeared. This abrupt loss of activity eliminated the investigators' ability to track the phone's last known location. Meanwhile, authorities also examined Ryan's financial records, including his bank accounts, credit cards, and other personal communication methods. The findings revealed that none of these accounts or devices had shown any activity since the day he went missing. This significantly weakened the possibility that Ryan had voluntarily left Newport or secretly relocated to another place on his own. These scattered and frustratingly inconclusive pieces of information quickly spread through local media outlets, such as KGW News, and across Facebook community groups. As public awareness grew, so did speculation and theories about the cause of Ryan's disappearance. Some believe that Ryan might have been kidnapped by a professional criminal organization or attacked by an unknown assailant, carried out so skillfully that no physical evidence was left at the scene. Others speculated about possible internal conflicts or hidden business rivalries within Newport's entrepreneurial circles, suggesting that these factors could have played a role in Ryan's mysterious disappearance. However, all these theories remained nothing more than speculation, lacking solid evidence to support them. The severe lack of valuable leads left investigators in a difficult and frustrating position. Despite the efforts of Newport's local community, which organized multiple large-scale search efforts across the city and surrounding areas, drawing in hundreds of volunteers eager to help, no tangible clues ever surfaced to indicate Ryan's whereabouts. As time passed, and every initial investigative lead fell into dead ends, public and media interest in Ryan Stagg's case gradually faded. However, occasional memorial campaigns and heartfelt pleas from Ryan's family would still appear sporadically on social media, aiming to reignite public concern and keep the case from being forgotten. But the years passed quietly, and Ryan's disappearance grew colder, transforming into a mystery with no apparent resolution. For nearly 3 long years, the investigation saw no significant breakthroughs, until one day, in the final months of 2024, a series of shocking discoveries emerged, like a sudden flash of light piercing through the darkness, reopening a case that had long been frozen in time and nearly lost to history. A completely unexpected and almost unbelievable turning point occurred on December 27, 2024. Nearly 3 years to the day since the case had seemingly been buried under the dust of the past. On that day, a specialized tactical police unit, armed with advanced investigative equipment, unexpectedly raided a house located on Northwest 7th Street. The property belonged to Jack David Baird, a 60-year-old man known for his reclusive lifestyle, one who kept to himself and remained almost entirely detached from the surrounding community. The raid was conducted under extraordinary circumstances, as authorities had just received crucial new intelligence. Confidential tips that pointed to a suspicious and previously unknown connection between Jack David Baird and the mysterious disappearance of businessman Ryan Staggs. During the extensive search of the house, which lasted for several hours, police cadaver dogs, specially trained to detect human remains, exhibited highly unusual and alert behavior in the spacious backyard of the property. Acting on these strong signals, investigators decided to conduct a careful and methodical excavation in the area marked by the dogs. As a result, forensic specialists confirmed with certainty that the dogs had indeed detected a distinct odor directly associated with human decomposition. This breakthrough discovery was immediately classified as confidential and swiftly relayed to top forensic experts for further detailed analysis. However, despite their best efforts, police were unable to locate any direct or conclusive physical evidence of human remains in the backyard, even after extensive and meticulous digging. Although no remains were immediately found, the combination of circumstantial evidence gathered so far, along with the undeniable reaction from the cadaver dogs, was more than sufficient for authorities to make a decisive move. They officially arrested Jack David Baird for further investigation. News of Baird's arrest spread like wildfire across local media, once again reigniting public interest and sparking widespread discussion throughout the Newport community. Residents were shocked and deeply unsettled by the revelation. Many were familiar with Jack David Baird, yet no one had ever suspected that he could be directly connected to a years-long missing person case as mysterious as Ryan Staggs. However, with no human remains or definitive physical evidence recovered, the investigation remained far from over. Authorities had no choice but to proceed cautiously, methodically piecing together the case in search of the ultimate breakthrough, one that could finally unravel the thick layers of mystery surrounding the disappearance of businessman Ryan David Staggs. Further valuable information emerged from eyewitnesses living near Jack David Baird's home, shedding new light on previously unknown details and significantly amplifying the growing suspicions surrounding Ryan's disappearance. According to accounts documented by the reputable local news outlet Yachits News, shortly after the Newport community first learned of Ryan's disappearance in late January 2022, several neighbors living near Baird's residence began to share deeply concerning observations they had previously kept to themselves. One of the most striking details in their testimonies was the fact that Jack David Baird, known for his reclusive lifestyle and tendency to avoid social interaction, had suddenly begun displaying highly unusual and inexplicable behavior. Specifically, multiple witnesses reported seeing Baird repeatedly digging in his backyard at night under the dim glow of a flashlight. Most alarming, however, was the timeline. These nighttime digging sessions were reported to have taken place just days after Ryan Staggs mysteriously vanished. The eerie coincidence in timing raised serious questions and fueled widespread speculation that the two seemingly unrelated events might, in fact, be directly connected. The witness testimonies did not stop at merely hearing strange noises. They became even more unsettling when several residents living near Jack David Baird's property came forward to confirm that they had, in fact, heard bizarre and terrifying sounds. These noises were described in chilling detail as prolonged screams of agony and heated, angry arguments, all distinctly emanating from Baird's property. What made these accounts even more disturbing was that the sounds were reported to have occurred on the night of January 29th, 2022, the exact night Ryan Staggs was last seen before he vanished without a trace. Some neighbors had indeed taken notice of these unsettling noises at the time, but unfortunately, they hesitated to intervene or immediately report the incident to authorities. Their reasoning was that they had assumed it was nothing more than a personal dispute between acquaintances or a minor domestic altercation not worth their concern. This lack of immediate action and hesitation ultimately cost law enforcement a crucial opportunity to collect key evidence at the most critical early stage of the case. Despite the seemingly detailed and compelling witness statements, authorities faced significant obstacles. At the time, they lacked the solid legal grounds necessary to officially search Jack David Baird's property. The primary reason for this delay was that witnesses only reported their observations months after Ryan Staggs had already gone missing. By then, the case had grown significantly more complex, and the belated testimonies had lost much of their initial urgency and clarity. This unfortunate delay in gathering, verifying, and connecting these scattered pieces of information inadvertently pushed the investigation into a prolonged deadlock, leaving Ryan's case unresolved for nearly 3 years. It was not until late 2024, when more concrete evidence and compelling suspicions began to surface, that investigators were finally able to reignite the case. This time with the faint but renewed hope of uncovering the ultimate truth behind Ryan's disappearance. The breakthrough discovery, January 8th, 2025. After more than a week of intense and relentless searching, law enforcement in Oregon achieved a major breakthrough, a pivotal moment in a case that had long seemed destined to remain unsolved. With the dedicated support of local police officers who possessed an in-depth knowledge of the region, investigators strategically shifted their focus to meticulously scouring isolated, desolate areas in the rural landscapes of Lincoln County. This targeted approach led them over 20 kilometers, 12 miles, west of bustling downtown Newport into a remote, unfrequented region. It was here, in this barren and secluded terrain, that investigators stumbled upon a disturbing and unexpected discovery, a shallow grave. The grave appeared freshly covered, haphazardly concealed beneath a crude layer of decaying leaves, loose dirt, and scattered rocks. This suspicious find immediately raised alarm bells among authorities, heightening suspicions that they may have just uncovered a critical crime scene, one that could be directly linked to the nearly 3-year-old disappearance of businessman Ryan Staggs. According to continuous updates from reputable local media outlets such as KGW News and major social media platforms closely following the case, a highly specialized forensic team was immediately dispatched to the newly discovered site to conduct a thorough and professional excavation. During the painstaking and difficult exhumation process, forensic experts were shocked to uncover skeletal remains, which were already in an advanced state of decomposition, a clear indication that the body had been buried in secrecy for an extended period. In addition to the skeletal remains, police carefully recovered several personal belongings at the excavation site. Some of these closely matched the detailed descriptions of Ryan Staggs' clothing and personal items at the time of his disappearance. Although the Oregon Medical Examiner's Office officially stated that they would need additional time to conduct complex forensic examinations, all initial evidence collected at the scene, the geographical location of the remains, the preliminary estimated time of death determined by forensic experts, and the presence of personal items strongly linked to Ryan Staggs, overwhelmingly pointed to the most likely conclusion. The remains belonged to Ryan David Staggs, the businessman who had mysteriously disappeared without a trace nearly 3 years earlier. This shocking revelation sent ripples of disbelief and emotion throughout the Newport community, making headlines across Oregon and quickly gaining national media attention through major news networks such as CBS News. On social media, where the case had long been a subject of intense public speculation, the news spread rapidly, reigniting a wave of discussions, theories, and demands for justice. Ryan Staggs' family and close friends were immediately notified of the devastating discovery. Though deeply heartbroken and overwhelmed by grief, they also felt a small measure of relief, knowing that, after nearly 3 years of uncertainty and anguish, they were finally beginning to uncover the harsh and painful truth behind his disappearance. Just one day after the groundbreaking discovery of human remains in Lincoln County, the mystery surrounding Ryan Staggs' disappearance took another major turn. On January 9th, 2025, Murphy Calvin Henry II, a 54-year-old man, was suddenly and officially arrested by Newport police. The arrest sent shockwaves through both local and national audiences, not only because it marked a critical new development in the case, but also because Henry's name had never once surfaced during the nearly 3-year-long investigation. According to official statements from the Newport Police Department, widely published across local and national media, Murphy Calvin Henry II was charged with multiple severe felony offenses, including second-degree murder, abuse and desecration of a corpse, and tampering with evidence to conceal a crime. The high-profile arrest was swiftly picked up by leading news agencies, including KGW News and CBS News, which widely broadcast the details of the case. Reports emphasized that Henry's arrest was not a random or impulsive action, but rather the result of an extensive, covert, and highly meticulous investigative effort that law enforcement had been discreetly conducting for months. However, investigators remained extremely cautious, refraining from publicly disclosing the specific and crucial evidence that had led them to identify Murphy Calvin Henry II as the primary suspect in the case. This secrecy sparked widespread public curiosity and speculation, with many questioning Henry's exact role in the crime, as well as the true nature of his connection to Jack David Baird, the reclusive man who had been arrested in late 2024, and, most importantly, his involvement in the tragic fate of Ryan Staggs. Authorities remained highly cautious and officially stated that the exact motive behind the crime and the nature of the complex relationships between those involved were still under thorough and comprehensive investigation. However, reliable sources within the investigative team confirmed that Murphy Calvin Henry II had been identified as a crucial link in the case, one who may have played a direct role in Ryan Staggs' tragic death. Additionally, Henry was a key orchestrator in the meticulous effort to conceal the victim's remains, a move that significantly hindered law enforcement's investigation for nearly 3 years. The formal indictment of Murphy Calvin Henry II on multiple serious felony charges was not only a major breakthrough in a case that once seemed like a dead end, but also an essential step toward uncovering the full truth behind the nearly 3-year-old mystery. It brought the investigation closer than ever to revealing what had truly happened to Ryan Staggs, a truth the Newport community had long awaited. Following their arrests, both primary suspects, Jack David Baird and Murphy Calvin Henry II, underwent lengthy and intensive interrogations conducted by seasoned investigators. These intense sessions uncovered critical and unexpected details, gradually peeling back the layers of secrecy surrounding a case that had been buried in darkness and uncertainty for nearly 3 years. According to detailed records from the Newport Police Department, Jack David Baird initially denied any involvement in Ryan Staggs' disappearance. He insisted to investigators that his late-night digging in his backyard on the night of Ryan's disappearance was nothing more than an effort to repair a damaged drainage system on his property. However, as incontrovertible evidence emerged, such as the cadaver dog's precise identification of human decomposition odors in Baird's backyard and the credible eyewitness testimonies from nearby residents, Baird was forced to partially admit the truth. Under pressure, Baird finally confessed to having played a role in burying the victim's body. However, he vehemently denied being directly responsible for Ryan Staggs' death. According to reports from local news sources, Baird told investigators that Murphy Calvin Henry II was solely responsible for the murder. He claimed that he only helped dispose of the body out of fear, terrified that if he reported Henry's crime to the authorities, he would become entangled in the legal consequences himself. Meanwhile, Murphy Calvin Henry II, the man officially charged with second-degree murder, initially denied all accusations and steadfastly maintained his innocence. He repeatedly claimed he had nothing to do with the case and insisted he had no knowledge whatsoever of Ryan Staggs' fate. However, after enduring multiple lengthy interrogations and facing increasing pressure from undeniable forensic evidence recovered from the shallow grave in Lincoln County, Henry eventually wavered. He reluctantly admitted that he was indeed present at the scene on the night of Ryan Staggs' death. But despite this admission, Henry continued to provide vague and evasive answers about what had actually transpired. He insisted that Ryan's death was nothing more than an unfortunate accident, a tragic and unintended event. Henry claimed that his only wrongdoing was acting on impulse to cover up the situation. Driven by panic and fear of being wrongfully accused of crime, he claimed he did not commit. The contradictory and strangely inconsistent testimonies of Jack David Baird and Murphy Calvin Henry II immediately raised further suspicions among investigators regarding the truthfulness and reliability of their statements. Veteran detectives noted that while both suspects attempted to shift the primary blame onto one another, their inconsistencies inadvertently created even more questions surrounding the real motive behind this tragic and brutal crime. A significant commonality found in both of their statements was their reluctant admission that they had known and previously interacted with Ryan Staggs. However, the exact nature and depth of their relationship with the victim remained unclear, leaving a crucial gap in the investigation that had yet to be fully understood. At present, Newport police are fully focused on dissecting every detail of the conflicting testimonies from both suspects, desperately hoping to identify any points of agreement that could illuminate the critical uncertainties in the case. Additionally, investigators are actively working alongside local and national media, calling for potential new witnesses who might come forward with valuable information. Their goal is to piece together the remaining puzzling elements of this highly complex and baffling case. Despite the fact that Jack David Baird and Murphy Calvin Henry II have been formally arrested and now face severe legal charges, many crucial details of the case have yet to be fully disclosed to the public. Authorities have remained tightly guarded about the true motive behind the crime, further fueling widespread public speculation at both the local and national levels. This lack of transparency has left the Newport community already shaken and confused, and the broader public grappling with unanswered questions. What exactly led to Ryan David Staggs, an admired and respected businessman, becoming the target of such a brutal crime? Was this murder driven by deeply rooted business conflicts, financial disputes, or unresolved personal grudges? What could have possibly escalated the situation to the point of such a ruthless act of violence? These burning questions remain unanswered, leaving many residents anxious and unsettled as they struggle to make sense of the chilling and unpredictable developments of the case. Another critical unanswered question revolves around the precise nature of the relationship between Jack David Baird, Murphy Calvin Henry II, and the victim, Ryan Staggs. Both suspects have admitted to knowing or having prior encounters with Ryan Staggs before the crime took place. However, concrete, verified details regarding how well they actually knew him, the specific circumstances that led to the crime, and whether any additional accomplices were involved, remain entirely undisclosed by law enforcement. Authorities have deliberately withheld key details as part of their ongoing in-depth and classified investigation. However, the vagueness and ambiguity in the suspect's statements, coupled with the investigators' secrecy about this potentially complex connection, have become a focal point of intense public scrutiny. This lack of clarity has sparked endless debates across social media, where public interest in the case remains exceptionally high. Meanwhile, major news outlets such as KGW News and CBS News continue to closely monitor and report on every development, ensuring that public attention remains firmly fixed on this haunting and perplexing case. In the end, the tragic case of Ryan Staggs has once again highlighted the undeniable and crucial role of mass media and modern social networks in monitoring and accelerating criminal investigations. It was the relentless public pressure, amplified and magnified by the limitless reach of social media, that played a pivotal role in keeping the case firmly in the public eye. This sustained attention not only ensured that the case remained a matter of serious concern, but also pushed investigators to persist in their efforts, even when the case had previously fallen into a long and frustrating standstill. The recent breakthrough in the investigation serves as a striking example of how public scrutiny and media coverage can significantly contribute to the pursuit of justice and the truth for Ryan David Staggs. However, many unanswered mysteries still remain, with critical aspects of the case yet to be fully explained by authorities. The dramatic and unfolding developments will undoubtedly continue to captivate both national and international audiences, as the public eagerly hopes that the harsh and painful truth behind Ryan Staggs' tragic and mysterious death will ultimately be brought into the light of justice.